In a bold and uncompromising declaration, the Turkey-backed Syrian National Army, or SNA, has vowed to annihilate the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, in northeastern Syria. Speaking with unwavering resolve, Saif Polat, the head of an SNA brigade, proclaimed his forces' commitment to eliminating what they describe as PKK-linked elements all the way to the Iraqi border. Polat's remarks reflect escalating tensions in a region already plagued by years of conflict, as fighting between the SNA and SDF continues to intensify. The SNA, widely supported by Turkey, considers the SDF an extension of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, a group designated as a terrorist organization by Ankara. This linkage, however, is a point of contention. While Turkey firmly asserts that the SDF and PKK are inseparable, the SDF operates as the primary partner of the US-led coalition in the fight against ISIS, raising significant geopolitical stakes in the region. Saif Polat's statement, which explicitly vowed to clear PKK all the way to the Iraqi border, is emblematic of the deep-seated animosity between the two sides and Turkey's broader ambitions in northern Syria. This rhetoric comes amidst ongoing clashes between the SNA and SDF, particularly in northeastern Syria's contested regions. Over the past week, fighting has flared up in several hotspots, with both sides accusing the other of provoking attacks. The violence has been especially pronounced near the city of Manbij, a strategically significant area in northern Syria. On Monday, the SNA claimed responsibility for an operation that killed 5 SDF fighters, a move that has further exacerbated tensions. The fallout from this deadly encounter was evident in Manbij, where a somber funeral was held to honor the slain SDF soldiers. Hundreds of mourners gathered to pay their respects, carrying coffins draped in the yellow and green flag of the SDF. Chants of solidarity echoed through the streets, as family members and supporters vowed to continue the fight. The funeral underscored the human cost of this ongoing conflict, which has left countless communities devastated and displaced. For the SDF, these losses are not only a military blow but also a symbolic reminder of the challenges they face in maintaining control over the territory they have fought so hard to secure. The SDF has been a critical player in the battle against ISIS, with its fighters often serving as the front line in major offensives to liberate towns and cities from extremist control. Their partnership with the US-led coalition has been instrumental in dismantling ISIS's territorial caliphate, but it has also drawn the ire of Turkey and its allies, including the SNA. The SDF accuses the SNA of operating as a proxy force for Ankara, advancing Turkish geopolitical interests at the expense of regional stability. From the SDF's perspective, the recent escalation in fighting is part of a broader strategy by Turkey to expand its influence and undermine Kurdish-led governance structures in northern Syria. SDF spokespersons have called on the international community, particularly the United States, to intervene and prevent further aggression. On the other side, the SNA and Turkey argue that their actions are necessary for national security. Turkey views the PKK as an existential threat and has long sought to eliminate its presence along the country's southern border. Ankara's leadership has framed its military interventions in Syria as a defensive measure aimed at creating a safe zone free from PKK-affiliated groups, a policy that has received widespread domestic support but significant international criticism. The tension between these competing narratives is further complicated by the broader geopolitical context. The United States, while supporting the SDF as a critical ally against ISIS, has struggled to reconcile this partnership with its alliance with Turkey, a key NATO member. Washington has repeatedly attempted to mediate between the two sides, but these efforts have yielded limited results. The situation is further complicated by Russia, which has sought to expand its influence in Syria by acting as a mediator and military backer for the Assad regime. In recent years, Turkey has conducted multiple cross-border military operations into northern Syria, targeting both ISIS and the SDF. These campaigns have reshaped the region's political and military landscape, forcing the SDF to cede territory and recalibrate its strategy. The SNA, as a key partner in these operations, has played a central role in advancing Turkish objectives, often clashing directly with SDF forces. The ongoing conflict has had devastating consequences for civilians in the region. Entire communities have been displaced, with families fleeing the violence and seeking refuge in makeshift camps or overcrowded urban centers. Humanitarian organizations have warned of an escalating crisis, as access to food, water, and medical care remains severely limited. The situation is particularly dire in areas near the front lines, where continuous shelling and skirmishes have made it nearly impossible for aid workers to operate. Despite these challenges, both the SNA and SDF show no signs of backing down. For the SNA, the fight is framed as a national imperative, tied to Turkey's broader struggle against the PKK. For the SDF, it is a battle for survival and self-determination, rooted in the desire to establish a stable and autonomous region in the aftermath of Syria's civil war. As the conflict continues to unfold, the international community faces a difficult dilemma. The United States, in particular, must navigate its complex relationships with both Turkey and the SDF, balancing its strategic interests against the need to prevent further destabilization in the region. European nations, too, are closely watching the situation, given the potential for renewed waves of displacement and the broader implications for regional security. For now, the rhetoric from leaders like Saif Palat suggests that the fighting is far from over. His vow to clear PKK-linked forces to the Iraqi border signals a determination to press forward, regardless of the human and political cost. Meanwhile, the SDF remains equally resolute, framing its struggle as one of resistance against aggression and oppression. The stakes in this conflict are high, not only for the SNA and SDF but for the entire region. As the violence escalates, the prospects for a peaceful resolution seem increasingly distant, leaving millions of civilians caught in the crossfire of a conflict that shows no signs of abating.